Italy. Welcome to a land where history breathes through ancient ruins, where rolling hills glow beneath the golden sun, and where every village, every street, and every coastline tells a story that has lasted for centuries. This is Italy, a country of wonders, beauty, and timeless charm. From dramatic mountains to sparkling seas, from grand cities filled with art to hidden gems that few have ever seen, every moment here feels like stepping into a masterpiece. Join us on this cinematic journey through the most fascinating places in Italy. And before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you never miss the chance to explore the breathtaking wonders of our world. Italy unfolds like a living canvas, a place where every valley, hill, and coastline tells a story that has been written over thousands of years. The land itself seems designed to stir emotions, with rolling fields that shimmer golden under the sun, mountains that rise like ancient guardians, and seas that stretch endlessly, reflecting the skies above. The air feels rich with history, carrying the voices of generations who shaped this country into one of the most fascinating corners of the world. To travel here is to walk through time, to see layers of civilization that never fully fade but instead remain woven into the very fabric of the landscape. The countryside feels endless, a patchwork of vineyards, olive groves, and fields where wheat bends gently in the breeze. In spring, flowers blanket meadows in vibrant colors, while autumn bathes the hills in warm hues, each season bringing with it a sense of renewal and timelessness. Farmers work the land with traditions passed down through centuries, their rhythms as steady as the turning earth. Paths wind between villages, their cobblestones worn smooth by countless footsteps, and the scent of bread baking in wood-fired ovens drifts out to greet visitors. Life here is unhurried, and every glance reveals details that remind you of the harmony between people and their land. As the land changes, so too does the atmosphere. The coastline invites with its dramatic cliffs and hidden coves, where waves crash endlessly against stone, shaping the shore with patient persistence. Fishing boats bob gently in the harbors, their bright colors reflected in the clear waters. Alongside them, towns rise from the rocks, their houses painted in pastel shades that glow warmly in the Mediterranean sun. Narrow alleys lead upward, twisting like mazes, until suddenly the view opens to reveal the sea stretching out in all directions, a sight that leaves the heart both calm and restless. Mountains dominate the north, where peaks pierce the sky and valleys shelter quiet villages. Snow covers the summits for much of the year, glistening under the sun like crowns of ice. Below, meadows bloom with wildflowers in summer, and cows graze lazily as their bells echo through the air. Lakes mirror the beauty of the land, their still waters reflecting both sky and mountains with a perfection that feels unreal. To sit by these waters is to understand serenity, to feel that balance between grandeur and peace that defines the very essence of nature's wonders. Cities rise as monuments to human ambition and creativity, their streets echoing with footsteps that have walked them for thousands of years. Arches, domes, and towers dominate skylines, each stone placed with precision and purpose. Yet despite their magnificence, these cities never feel cold or distant. Instead, they hum with life, filled with markets, music, and laughter. Cafes spill into piazzas where people gather to talk, eat, and watch the world pass by. These cities are not frozen relics of the past, but living, breathing centers where history and modern life intertwine seamlessly. Walking through ancient ruins, one cannot help but feel humbled by the scale of what has endured. Columns rise from the earth like reminders of a time when empires ruled, their power and artistry evident even in broken fragments. Amphitheaters stand in remarkable condition, their stone seats still holding the echoes of cheers that once filled the air. Roads paved by ancient hands stretch toward the horizon, their paths guiding travelers just as they did centuries ago. To touch these stones is to connect with the countless lives that came before, lives that shaped the course of history in ways still felt today. The art of the land is not confined to galleries or museums. It is everywhere, in the frescoes that adorn small chapels, in the sculptures that stand proudly in public squares, and in the architecture of every corner. The sheer dedication to beauty, to harmony, and to balance permeates everything, making even the simplest building or bridge feel like a masterpiece. Light plays across these creations, changing their character throughout the day. In the soft glow of sunrise, structures appear almost ethereal, while in the golden warmth of sunset, they radiate a timeless glow that speaks directly to the soul. Food becomes part of the journey as well, not merely as sustenance but as an expression of culture, history, and place. Every region tells its story through flavors. The richness of olive oil pressed from local groves, the sweetness of wines born from sun-drenched vineyards, the warmth of bread baked fresh each morning. Meals are shared slowly, often outdoors, where laughter rises with the clinking of glasses. Eating here is not rushed. It is a celebration, an acknowledgement of the abundance and generosity of the land itself. The sounds of the country form their own symphony. Church bells ring out from towers, marking the hours with deep, resonant tones. Markets hum with voices calling out their wares, blending into a chorus of life and energy. In the evenings, music drifts through the streets, sometimes from professional performers, other times from locals simply sharing a song with friends. These sounds, combined with the ever-present backdrop of waves, wind, and birdsong, create a harmony that lingers long after the journey has ended. And before we continue further into this journey of discovery, here's a gentle reminder. If you're enjoying this exploration and would like to join us as we uncover even more wonders across the world, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring these stories to life, ensuring that every breathtaking landscape and timeless tradition can be shared with you and countless others who dream of travel and adventure. Night descends across the land with a beauty all its own. Lanterns glow softly in villages, casting warm light onto narrow streets. Cities come alive with energy as piazzas fill with people enjoying the cool evening air, their conversations mingling with the music of fountains. In the countryside, stars blaze across the sky, their brilliance undimmed by city lights. The silence of the night feels profound, filled only with the occasional bark of a dog or the distant toll of a bell. These moments of quiet contrast beautifully with the liveliness of the day, reminding travelers that every hour brings its own kind of wonder. The journey through this land feels endless, with each turn revealing something unexpected and extraordinary. From the heights of mountains to the depths of valleys, from bustling streets to remote villages, every step uncovers layers of beauty and history that captivate the senses. Travelers find themselves caught between awe and contentment, torn between the desire to see more and the wish to linger forever in the moment they are experiencing. This tension, this pull of discovery, is what makes the land so enchanting, a place that calls to the heart long after the journey is over. The coast stretches like a ribbon of dreams, where cliffs drop dramatically into the embrace of turquoise seas. Villages cling precariously to these rocky edges, their homes painted in colors so vivid that they seem to compete with the brilliance of the sky above and the water below. Narrow lanes wind between the buildings, often no wider than a person's shoulders, leading to small squares where life spills outward in the form of cafes, flower pots, and laughter. The rhythm of waves crashing against the rocks provides a soundtrack to daily life, reminding everyone who lives there of the ocean's eternal presence. Fishing boats dot the harbors, their hulls bright with paint and their nets heavy with the day's catch. The scent of salt, fish, and sun-warmed stone lingers in the air, mingling with the aroma of meals being prepared in kitchens just beyond the water's edge. Families gather around long tables, enjoying dishes that carry the essence of the sea, each bite infused with flavors drawn directly from the waves. Travelers are often welcomed as guests, invited to share not just food but stories, laughter, and the feeling of belonging that comes so easily here. As the sun dips lower, the coastline transforms into something almost otherworldly. The cliffs glow in golden light, and the sea reflects every hue of the sunset, shifting from orange to pink to deep violet. Lanterns flicker on in the villages, casting warm pools of light that mirror the stars beginning to emerge above. The air cools slightly, carrying with it a sense of serenity that seems to settle over everything. Evening on the coast is not simply an ending but a transition, a passage into a world that feels softer, gentler, and deeply intimate. Further inland, hills roll in endless waves, covered in vineyards and olive groves that have stood for centuries. The land here has been shaped not only by nature but also by human hands, carefully cultivated generation after generation. Stone farmhouses rise among the greenery, their walls thick and weathered, their windows opening onto views that stretch across valleys and hills. Life follows the cycle of the seasons, with harvests marking the rhythm of the year. Grapes ripen under the sun, olives are pressed into golden oil, and fields glow with the colors of wheat ready for gathering. The experience of walking through these hills is like stepping into a painting. Every view feels carefully composed, each detail in perfect harmony with the next. Cypress trees line roads that stretch toward distant horizons, their dark shapes contrasting beautifully with the bright fields. Villages crown the tops of hills, their towers rising proudly, visible for miles around. Bells toll from stone churches, their sound carrying across the land as a reminder of both the past and the present. Travelers pause often here, not because they are weary, but because each sight compels them to stop and take it in. The people of these regions embody warmth and hospitality, always eager to share their traditions. Meals are at the center of this generosity, where simple ingredients are transformed into dishes that taste like a reflection of the land itself. Bread baked that morning, cheese aged in nearby caves, vegetables picked fresh from the garden. Each bite tells a story of patience, care, and respect for the earth. Wine flows freely, its flavors carrying the essence of the sun, the soil, and the vines that produced it. To dine here is to experience culture in its most essential form, shared at a table with laughter and conversation. Art continues to reveal itself in unexpected places, not confined to museums or galleries but present in the everyday. Frescoes adorn the walls of small chapels tucked away in villages, their colors still vibrant after centuries. Sculptures stand proudly in piazzas, their forms both elegant and powerful, reminding passers-by of the enduring beauty of human creativity. Even the streets themselves feel like art, their cobblestones polished by countless footsteps, their curves and angles shaped by both necessity and imagination. Walking through them is like moving through a living gallery, where history and artistry coexist seamlessly. At night, the countryside becomes a realm of peace. Crickets sing softly in the fields, and fireflies drift through the darkness, their glow illuminating the air in fleeting sparks of light. Families sit outside under the stars, conversations blending with the sounds of nature. The sky above is clear and vast, filled with constellations that shine as brightly now as they did in ancient times. This quiet beauty contrasts with the liveliness of the day, offering a balance that feels essential to the character of the land itself. And before we continue deeper into this land of wonders, here's a gentle reminder. If you're enjoying this journey and want to explore more breathtaking destinations with us, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support helps keep these stories alive, ensuring we can continue to share the world's most fascinating places with you. Moving toward the great cities, the atmosphere shifts dramatically. Streets are alive with movement, their energy a blend of history and modernity that exists nowhere else in the world. Arches rise overhead, ancient stones supporting structures that have withstood centuries of change. Fountains sparkle in the sunlight, their waters dancing as crowds gather around them. Markets spill across piazzas, filled with colors, scents, and sounds that overwhelm the senses in the most delightful way. The past and present merge seamlessly here, creating cities that feel timeless, eternal, and endlessly captivating. The heartbeat of these cities is the people themselves. Artists sketch in quiet corners, musicians fill the air with melodies, and children play in squares surrounded by structures older than entire nations. Cafes overflow with conversation, their tables crowded with friends and strangers alike. Food is savored slowly, coffee enjoyed not in haste but as a ritual, an excuse to pause and connect. These cities breathe through their inhabitants, each person adding a layer to the complex story that continues to unfold every day. The grandeur of monuments is matched only by the small details that can be found at every turn. A doorway carved with intricate patterns, a window framed by flowers spilling into the street, a worn step polished smooth by generations of feet. Each detail adds to the sense of continuity and presence. Travelers often find themselves lost, not in confusion, but in wonder, wandering without direction simply to discover what lies around the next corner. In this way, the journey itself becomes the destination, every step a revelation. Ancient stones rise from the earth, whispering stories of empires long gone yet never forgotten. The walls, arches, and amphitheaters stand as guardians of memory, their surfaces weathered by centuries of wind, rain, and sun. To walk among them is to step into another time, when crowds once gathered, voices roared, and history was being written in the spectacle of games, debates, and ceremonies. The scale of these ruins still amazes, for even in their broken state, they command respect and inspire awe. Each column that remains upright seems to carry the weight not only of stone but of the human spirit that created it. The streets that wind through these ancient quarters hold the footprints of countless generations. Some paths are paved with stones polished smooth by time, their grooves shaped by wheels of carts that passed centuries ago. Along the way, fragments of frescoes peek through crumbling walls, colors that refuse to fade despite their age. The air itself seems to vibrate with echoes, as if the laughter, shouts, and whispers of the past still linger invisibly. Even when the streets are empty, they never feel silent. They hum with life, with memory, with something eternal. In the shadow of these ruins, the daily rhythm of modern life continues seamlessly. Cafes nestle beside ancient walls, their terraces filled with people sipping espresso while gazing upon structures that predate entire civilizations. Vendors sell fresh fruit in markets set up against the backdrop of towering arches, the contrast between old and new both striking and comforting. It is here, perhaps more than anywhere else, that one feels the continuity of time, the awareness that life moves forward without erasing what has come before. Instead, each layer builds upon the last, creating a depth that makes every moment richer. The land itself bears witness to Italy's wonders in forms that reach beyond the work of human hands. Mountains pierce the sky, their peaks snow-capped even in summer, their lower slopes lush with forests and meadows. Trails wind upward, challenging yet rewarding those who dare to climb, offering views that seem to stretch to infinity. In the quiet of the high places, the sound of wind replaces the noise of cities, carrying with it a clarity that sharpens every sense. To stand on a summit is to feel both small and limitless at once, humbled by nature's grandeur and uplifted by its beauty. Between these mountains lie valleys that appear almost dreamlike. Rivers carve their way through, their waters glittering in the sun, nourishing fields and villages alike. The slopes are covered with vineyards, their neat rows climbing the hillsides in patterns both practical and artistic. Small towns rise at the heart of these valleys, their stone houses blending seamlessly with the land, their bells echoing across the fields as they mark the hours of the day. Life here moves with the rhythm of the earth, guided by the seasons, rooted in tradition yet always open to the wonder of the present. The coastlines offer yet another marvel, their diversity astounding. Some stretches are marked by golden sands where the sea kisses the shore gently, inviting families, travelers, and dreamers to linger. Others are rugged and dramatic, cliffs plunging straight into the deep blue, waves crashing with force and determination. Small coves hide between the rocks, secret havens accessible only to those who know the paths or arrive by boat. Here, the sea reveals its many moods, from calm serenity to wild, untamed energy. Each tide, each sunrise, each storm brings a new story to tell. Across the land, volcanoes rise, their presence both awe-inspiring and humbling. Some slumber quietly, their slopes covered with fertile soil that sustains entire communities. Others remind the world of their power with smoke curling into the sky or the faint scent of sulfur carried on the breeze. To walk on their flanks is to tread upon earth that breathes, a reminder of forces far greater than humanity's. And yet, these very forces give life, enriching the soil, shaping the land, and creating landscapes unlike any other. The balance of danger and beauty here is a wonder in itself. The lakes shimmer like mirrors of the sky, their surfaces reflecting the surrounding mountains, villages, and forests. Each has its own character, some tranquil and still, others alive with movement from boats and breezes. The water glows in shades of blue and green, changing constantly with the light of day. Shores are lined with villas, gardens, and promenades, where people stroll slowly, savoring the peace and the beauty. In the evenings, the reflections of lights dance across the surface, turning the lakes into pools of gold and silver. Even the smallest corners of Italy reveal unexpected treasures. Hidden chapels lie at the end of winding paths, their doors opening to reveal frescoes glowing softly in the light of candles. Villages sit on hilltops, their narrow streets twisting like labyrinths, leading to squares where fountains bubble and life gathers. Farmers tend to their land with devotion, producing fruits, vegetables, wines, and oils that carry the essence of place. Travelers who take the time to wander without maps often find themselves rewarded with discoveries that feel deeply personal, moments of connection that cannot be planned but only experienced. And as we continue on this breathtaking journey, let me pause here to gently remind you, if you're enjoying exploring these wonders with us, please subscribe to the channel. Your support allows us to bring more of these stories to life and share the beauty of the world with you, one destination at a time. Moving forward, the cities call with their unique energy. Streets buzz with conversation, with footsteps echoing off ancient walls, with the hum of modern life unfolding in timeless surroundings. Towers and domes dominate skylines, rising above a maze of alleys and boulevards. The architecture speaks of ambition and artistry, of devotion and ingenuity, blending the sacred with the secular, the monumental with the intimate. Each corner turned reveals something unexpected: a sculpture, a hidden courtyard, a market alive with color. Inside the great churches, silence reigns despite the presence of many visitors. Light pours through stained glass or falls softly from high windows, illuminating masterpieces of sculpture, painting, and architecture. The scale of these spaces inspires awe, but so too does the detail, the craftsmanship evident in every carving, mosaic, and brushstroke. They are places where time seems to pause, where the human spirit is lifted upward, and where the boundary between the earthly and the divine feels particularly thin. Art spills into the streets and squares, alive in fountains that sparkle in sunlight, in statues that capture grace and power in stone, and in performances that draw crowds together. Musicians play on corners, filling the air with sound, while painters set up easels to capture the beauty around them. Even simple daily life becomes a kind of theater, unfolding in open-air markets, in gestures of conversation, in the way light falls across facades that have stood for centuries. The result is a constant interplay between the grand and the ordinary, each enhancing the other. Islands rise from the sea like jewels scattered across a sapphire canvas, each one carrying a character and rhythm uniquely its own. The air feels different as soon as you step onto their shores, scented with salt, citrus, and blossoms carried on soft breezes. Waves lap against rocky coasts and golden beaches alike, their steady rhythm a heartbeat that shapes the life of those who call these islands home. Villages cluster close to the shorelines, their buildings glowing in colors that seem designed to reflect the sun itself, while narrow paths wind upward toward ancient fortresses or volcanic peaks that remind visitors of the forces that created these places long ago. The sea here is more than just a boundary. It is a lifeline, a stage for countless stories. Fishermen mend their nets on quiet mornings as gulls circle overhead, their cries mixing with the sound of boats knocking gently against wooden docks. The catch of the day finds its way to markets where it is sold fresh, to kitchens where it is transformed into dishes infused with flavors of lemon, olive oil, herbs, and spices. Meals on these islands are celebrations, often shared outdoors beneath climbing vines heavy with fruit, accompanied by the glow of lanterns and the laughter of families and friends. Further inland, volcanic slopes offer a landscape unlike any other. Black sands, fertile soil, and steaming vents remind all who wander here of the immense power lying beneath the surface. Some craters are silent, filled with lakes whose waters gleam in shades of blue and green, while others still send faint plumes of smoke skyward, whispering of their restless energy. These volcanoes give the islands both beauty and fragility, creating a balance between creation and destruction that is both humbling and awe-inspiring. To gaze upon them at sunset, with the sky glowing red and orange, is to witness a spectacle where earth and fire seem to converse in light. Moving inland to the mainland once again, the countryside unfurls in layers of wonder. Walled towns stand as guardians of history, their towers and gates recalling an age of knights, artisans, and scholars. Within the walls, stone streets wind like threads, leading to piazzas where fountains bubble and life gathers. Each building carries its age proudly, wooden shutters painted in fading hues, balconies spilling with flowers that add bursts of color against weathered stone. Time moves differently here, unhurried and deliberate, every corner a reminder of resilience and continuity. Markets fill these towns with color and vitality. Stalls overflow with fresh produce, figs, cherries, artichokes, and tomatoes glistening in the sun. Cheese wheels line tables, their aromas mingling with the scent of fresh bread and herbs. Conversations flow as freely as the goods exchanged, voices rising and falling like music. Visitors wander slowly, savoring each flavor, each texture, each glimpse into the daily rhythm of these places. It is in these markets that one feels the heartbeat of community, alive and strong, rooted in centuries of tradition, yet always welcoming to strangers. Beyond the walls, rolling landscapes stretch endlessly. Fields are marked with orderly rows of vines, olive groves shimmer in the sunlight, and cypress trees stand like guardians lining the roads. Villages sit atop hills, their silhouettes etched against the horizon, visible from miles away. The views shift constantly with the light, golden at dawn, vibrant at midday, soft and glowing at dusk. Every moment reveals a new canvas, as if the land itself is alive with artistry. Travelers often pause here not out of necessity, but because the beauty insists upon being admired, absorbed, and remembered. Art, of course, finds its most powerful expression in these lands. Hidden within chapels and cathedrals are masterpieces that seem almost too beautiful to be real. Frescoes cover ceilings and walls, telling stories in color and form. Their details so intricate that one can stand for hours discovering new elements. Marble statues embody grace and strength, their forms so precise that the stone seems to breathe. Even the simplest village church may hold treasures, its quiet space filled with centuries of devotion and artistic expression. To encounter art in these places is not merely to observe it, but to experience it as part of life, inseparable from the culture that nurtured it. And before we journey further, here's a gentle invitation. If you're enjoying this exploration of Italy's wonders, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support allows us to keep sharing these breathtaking journeys with you, bringing the beauty of the world closer, one story at a time. The waterways of the country offer yet another dimension of wonder. Canals snake through neighborhoods where boats glide silently, their reflections shimmering on the water's surface. Bridges arch gracefully over these waterways, connecting narrow paths that twist and turn like a labyrinth. Life unfolds upon the water as much as on land. Goods are delivered by boat, people travel in gondolas or ferries, and festivals transform the canals into stages where light and sound mingle in celebration. At night, lanterns and candles reflect across the ripples, creating a dreamlike atmosphere that feels timeless. Elsewhere, broad rivers carve their way through valleys, their currents carrying history along with them. Great cities rise on their banks, their lights glittering in the dusk, mirrored in the flowing waters. The rivers bring nourishment to the land, their fertile banks covered in fields, orchards, and vineyards. Bridges stretch across them, some ancient and still standing strong, others modern and sleek, each one a testament to connection. To walk along these rivers is to follow the thread of life itself, woven into the fabric of the country for millennia. High in the mountains, alpine meadows burst into bloom with every color of the spectrum. Wildflowers carpet the slopes, filling the air with fragrance and the hum of bees. Streams cascade down from glaciers, their waters cold, clear, and invigorating, tumbling over rocks in sparkling ribbons. Wooden chalets at the hillsides, their roofs heavy with snow in winter and their balconies adorned with flowers in summer. Life here is attuned to the rhythms of the land, shaped by the seasons and by the towering peaks that define the horizon. In winter, the mountains transform into a realm of snow and ice. Slopes become playgrounds for those who seek the thrill of skiing or snowboarding, while valleys remain quiet under their white blankets. Fires crackle in hearths, warming travelers who gather indoors after days spent in the cold. There is a sense of purity here, of clarity that comes with crisp air and endless vistas of snow-capped peaks. In the silence of winter nights, with stars shining brightly above, the mountains reveal their most serene and majestic selves. Light filters through vast halls where art and history converge, falling softly across masterpieces that have endured for centuries. Walls glow with frescoes alive in color, depicting scenes of devotion, myth, and humanity with a vividness that transcends time. Sculptures stand in quiet majesty, their forms carved from marble so perfectly that veins and muscles seem to pulse beneath the surface. Every stroke of paint, every curve of stone, carries the spirit of those who created them, artists whose names are etched into eternity, yet whose works feel as fresh and immediate as if they were finished yesterday. To walk among these treasures is to be reminded of what human creativity can achieve when imagination, skill, and passion meet. In towns and cities alike, piazzas unfold like open-air stages where daily life becomes art in motion. Cafes spill into the squares, their tables crowded with people savoring coffee, conversation, and the simple act of watching the world go by. Fountains sparkle in the sunlight, their waters dancing endlessly, while pigeons flutter in flocks above the heads of passers-by. Musicians set up near the edges, filling the air with song, their melodies weaving into the atmosphere of joy and connection. In these squares, life is lived not behind closed doors but in full view, vibrant and shared, reminding all who pass through of the communal heart that beats within these spaces. The coastline again calls with its striking blend of color and form. Steep cliffs descend into sapphire seas, their surfaces dotted with homes painted in shades so bright that they seem to defy the harshness of stone and sea. Terraces carved into the mountainsides hold vineyards and gardens, where lemons and olives grow in abundance. Narrow pathways wind down to small harbors, where boats rest gently, rocking with the rhythm of the tide. The sea is both protector and provider here, shaping the lives of generations who have learned to live with its moods, to respect its strength, and to celebrate its generosity. Villages clinging to these cliffs seem suspended between earth and sky, timeless in their appearance, yet full of life. The scent of baking bread drifts through their winding streets, mingling with the fragrance of herbs and flowers that adorn balconies. Shops display handmade crafts, ceramics painted in dazzling colors, fabrics woven with intricate patterns, jewelry inspired by the sea itself. Every corner holds a discovery, every doorway a story, every smile a welcome. Travelers often find themselves lingering here, caught not only by the beauty of the place but by the warmth of its people. Further inland, the Renaissance spirit reveals itself in ways both grand and subtle. Domes rise against the sky, symbols of human achievement in architecture and design, their interiors bursting with artistry that seems to reach toward heaven itself. Palaces line the streets, their facades adorned with columns and carvings that speak of wealth, power, and vision. Within, galleries hold treasures that transformed the world's understanding of art, science, and philosophy. Yet beyond the monumental lies the intimate. A painting tucked into a small chapel, a statue in a quiet courtyard, a detail on a ceiling that might be overlooked if not for a careful glance. Together, these wonders remind us that the Renaissance was not merely an era but a spirit that infused every part of life. The countryside continues to delight with its gentle beauty, rolling in waves of green and gold. Fields stretch toward the horizon, dotted with farmhouses and barns that stand as symbols of endurance. Roads lined with cypress trees lead through these landscapes, their tall, dark forms contrasting with the brightness around them. At sunset, the land glows with colors so rich that they seem painted, as if the world itself were transformed into a canvas. In this quiet, one feels the deep connection between land and people, between tradition and daily life, between the earth and the generations who have tended it with devotion. In mountain regions, traditions have been preserved with remarkable care. Wooden chalets cluster in valleys, their carved balconies adorned with flowers in summer and heavy with snow in winter. Shepherds still lead their flocks across meadows, bells tinkling softly as animals graze. Festivals bring communities together, their celebrations marked by music, dance, and costumes passed down through centuries. These traditions are not mere performances for outsiders but living expressions of identity, cherished and renewed year after year. Visitors who are welcomed into these gatherings often speak of a sense of belonging, of being part of something timeless. And before we continue further into the heart of this journey, here's a gentle reminder. If you're enjoying traveling with us through the wonders of this land, make sure to subscribe to the channel. By joining, you help us share more breathtaking stories from around the world, bringing beauty, culture, and history right to your screen. The islands off the coast shimmer like pearls, each one offering a world of its own. Some are rich with history, their ancient ruins standing guard over harbors filled with sailboats. Others are celebrated for their natural beauty, with beaches where the sand glows in the sun and the sea sparkles in shades of blue so clear that every stone beneath the surface can be seen. Life on the islands moves at a gentler pace, with afternoons spent under the shade of olive trees, evenings marked by the sound of waves, and nights illuminated by starlight unmarred by city glow. Elsewhere, spiritual landmarks rise from the land, drawing pilgrims and seekers alike. Great cathedrals stretch upward, their spires reaching into the heavens, while abbeys sit in quiet valleys, surrounded by forests and streams. The air in these places feels different, hushed and reverent, inviting reflection. Inside, candlelight flickers against stone walls, illuminating frescoes and carvings that tell stories of faith, perseverance, and devotion. For many, the journey to these sites is as important as the destination, a chance to step away from the noise of daily life and reconnect with something eternal. The wonder of Italy also lies in its ability to embrace contrasts. Bustling cities and tranquil villages, towering mountains and serene coasts, monumental art and simple traditions, all coexist harmoniously, each enhancing the other. A traveler can move from the energy of a crowded square to the silence of a mountain path within hours, experiencing both the vibrancy of human creation and the stillness of nature's masterpiece. This harmony creates a sense of completeness, a richness that lingers long after the journey ends. Even in its quietest corners, the country holds surprises that can take your breath away. A winding road through the countryside might suddenly reveal a valley bathed in golden light, its fields dotted with wildflowers and stone cottages that seem untouched by time. A narrow alley in an old town can open onto a hidden courtyard where ivy climbs across ancient walls, fountains trickle gently, and the air is filled with the fragrance of citrus blossoms. The beauty here is not always announced with grandeur but revealed in whispers, waiting for those who wander slowly and allow themselves to notice. As night falls, the land transforms into something equally wondrous. In the cities, lanterns glow in the piazzas, illuminating fountains and statues that take on a magical aura under the soft light. Music drifts from open windows, blending with the hum of conversation and laughter as people gather in cafes and restaurants to share meals and moments. In the countryside, the darkness is broken only by the glow of fireflies and the vast canopy of stars stretching endlessly above. The Milky Way shines clearly in mountain skies, offering a reminder of how small we are and how infinite the universe feels when seen from these timeless landscapes. Food, of course, is woven into every experience more than sustenance. It is a form of culture, history, and art. Meals begin with ingredients grown in fields nearby, shaped by recipes passed through generations, and finished with flavors that speak of land and tradition. Bread still warm from the oven, cheese aged carefully in caves, olive oil pressed with devotion, and wines that capture the very soul of the soil all come together in harmony. To sit at a table here is to share not just food but a way of life, to be welcomed into a story that stretches far into the past and continues into the future. The people bring warmth to every encounter, their hospitality as unforgettable as the landscapes and monuments. In villages, strangers are greeted with smiles and gestures of kindness, offered a glass of wine, a seat at the table, or a story about the land. In cities, conversations spill freely in markets, shops, and cafes, each word spoken with a melody that carries centuries of culture within it. There is pride here, but also generosity, a willingness to share not only beauty but belonging. Travelers leave not only with memories of places but with connections that feel deeply human. The seasons themselves bring layers of wonder. Spring paints the land in blossoms, fields of poppies and orchards heavy with flowers, a celebration of renewal and light. Summer brings warmth and vitality, festivals filling towns with color, music, and laughter as the days stretch long into the night. Autumn covers hillsides in hues of red and gold, the air filled with the scent of harvest, of grapes being pressed and fires being kindled. Winter brings silence and serenity, mountains cloaked in snow, villages glowing softly with lights, and hearths offering warmth against the chill. Each season transforms the country into something new, reminding all who visit that beauty here is never static but ever-changing. From the cliffs that overlook sapphire seas to the mountains that pierce the sky, from the grandeur of cities filled with art and history to the quiet intimacy of villages tucked away in valleys, every corner of this land tells a story. These stories overlap and intertwine, forming a tapestry that is as rich as it is endless. The wonders are not only in what has been built, painted, or carved, but in the harmony between people and place, in the way history lives alongside the present, and in the way every detail contributes to the whole. And before we close this journey, here's one last invitation. If you've been inspired by these wonders and want to continue exploring breathtaking destinations across the world, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you join us on every adventure to come, helping us share more stories of beauty, culture, and discovery. The journey through this land ends as it began, with wonder. From the moment the sun rises over rolling hills to the instant it sets behind ancient ruins, casting everything in a glow of timelessness. There is a sense that this is not merely a place but an experience, something that stays with you long after you leave. The sound of waves, the scent of vineyards, the sight of domes and towers against the sky, all become part of memory, ready to be revisited whenever you close your eyes. Italy does not simply show its wonders. It shares them, offering them freely to anyone willing to pause, to look, to listen, and to feel. And in that sharing lies its greatest beauty of all. As the sun sets over Italy's timeless landscapes, from the quiet vineyards to the vibrant piazzas, from the ancient ruins to the sparkling coastlines, we are reminded that some places are more than destinations. They are experiences that live within us forever. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the wonders of Italy. If this film inspired you, don't forget to subscribe and be part of our travels across the world's most beautiful destinations. Until our next adventure, arrivederci.